What's up, man? Hey, it's cool. It's cool. You can record me because I'm recording you too. All right. Next time I wave at you, man, you can wave with all your hands, man, all your fingers instead of just your middle finger.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one.
That's freedom of speech, dude.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you continue, man, and you want to act like this, I'll just take you to jail for disorderly conduct, persistent disorderly conduct.
I believe this.
So continue to walk and don't say a word. Don't say a word. I'm going to take you to jail if you continue. Continue walking.
You want another civil suit on your hands, motherfucker? You better
continue
go.
walking.
You want your sergeant down here right now.
Continue walking.
Call your sergeant.
Continue walking.
Call your motherfucking sergeant.
4200, send me another unit down there.
Sit here and my kid and my fucking wife, and you're just gonna sit here and harass me like this.
I waved at you. I simply waved at you.
And I went like this.
I'm at Clan West.
Couldn't even hold my hand up.
Look, all I did was I waved at you as a nice gesture to you and your wife as you were walking. Okay? And then you turn around and flip me off.
Your point?
Okay? So I stopped to ask you what your problem is.
Is that a crime?
It's disorderly conduct.
It is not.
It is.
Did I offend you in
Yeah,
some
there's
way?
other people walking around. Look at these people, these kids.
These kids ever seen you yell at me?
Yeah, because I
Dude,
simply
get out
stopped.
of my face.
No, you're not free to leave. You're not free to go. You're gonna stay right here. As a matter of fact, will you take the dog, please?
No.
Will you take the dog?
I'm not sure. He didn't radio out with anybody.
I'm out with a disturbance. Okay.
Are you serious, dude?
Yep. Go ahead. You're not under arrest. You're being detained because you're acting hostile towards me.
Here,
You want another unit down here, so I'm gonna send you another unit. My chief's actually gonna come down here.
You to know my lawyer will be being called right after this.
Okay.
My family attorney.
All right. You're not under arrest. Okay.
I am being detained.
You are being detained.
That means I am under arrest.
No, you're not.
I asked the crime I committed.
There's two different things. Okay.
I asked the crime I committed.
Come on over here.
Don't touch me, sir, please.
Okay, well.
You say I'm not under arrest?
You're detained.
Hey, this dude's illegally arresting me right now.
You're not under arrest.
Walking with my kid.
You're not under arrest.
Walking with my dog, and he is arresting me.
No.
Because I was walking with my dog.
You're not under arrest, man.
Swear to God, I have nothing on me or nothing.
You're not under arrest.
Everything that just happened, the stop, the threats, the handcuffs, rests on a single moment. Smith raising his middle finger. In Cohen versus California, decided in 1971. The Supreme Court held that the government cannot punish the expression of an idea simply because society finds it disagreeable or offensive. That ruling has been applied to gestures as clearly as it applies to words. Just 2 months before this encounter, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, the federal circuit that covers Ohio, ruled directly on this point. In Cruz versus Menard, the court held that any reasonable officer would know that a citizen who raises her middle finger engages in speech protected by the First Amendment. 2 months. That ruling came down in March of 2019. This stop happened in May of 2019. Officer Snyder patrols within that circuit. There is no version of events where he had not been put on notice.
I'm really getting put in the back of your car,
I
sir?
got one detained. Come on over here.
You're clear.
Getting arrested here for nothing. My girl and my dog are over here.
You're not under arrest.
Why do I have handcuffs on me then?
Because you're being detained. Because you're refusing to identify yourself.
You never asked me to identify me.
I did.
Your camera's on, ain't it?
Yep.
My camera's on.
You said
Everybody's
you're not-
camera's on.
you're-
When did you say I want
I need
your
your ID.
identification?
I need your
I'll
identification.
have it on me.
Okay. What's your name?
I don't know.
You don't know your name?
What's the crime I committed?
Go ahead and kick your feet in. Kick your feet in.
Sir, can I talk to you?
Yep, this is my lieutenant. You can talk to him.
I was walking here.
Talk to my
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, LT, so I'm sitting here at the stop sign, right? I'm just watching the stop sign as this guy and his wife and kid walk past. I wave as a nice gesture, so he turns around and he flips me off. So I turn around and come back here. I was like, hey, man, what's your problem? He goes, why'd you just, I wave at you and you flip me off. Is there some kind of issue? And his wife has been cooperative, haven't had any issues with his wife or his kid or anything like that. I said, man, what's your issue? And he starts cussing at me. I said, hey, man, you can't cuss like that. You can't act like that. You got people and other kids and stuff walking around here. So he refused to identify himself. I said, hey, you got an ID on you? He goes, I ain't got to identify you. So due to his hostile and turbulent behavior, I put him in handcuffs.
Well, at that point, you have disorderly, don't you?
Right, exactly. So that's why he's in the
middle finger, but how he responded after you.
Yep, exactly. So that's why he's in the backseat of my car. He's still refusing to identify himself. So. Hey, Chief. I'm sitting here at the stop sign like when you passed me a little bit ago. Gentleman walks past me, and I sit there and I wave at him and his wife as they're walking. They got a kid in a stroller and a dog. Okay, he turns around, and he flips me off.
Oh, nice.
So I flip around, I come back, and I was like, "Hey man, what's your problem?" I said, "I wave at you and your wife as a kind gesture, and you flip me off. Is there some kind of problem?" And then he starts getting loud and stuff like that. I said, "Hey, you can't act like that, man. There's other kids and stuff around here." Then he's like, "Oh, I'll falsify. I'm being harassed, and this guy's gonna arrest me." I said, "You're not under arrest. You're being detained." So he starts cussing. I got other kids and families and stuff walking out of the church. I don't know who it is. He's refusing to identify himself. Disorderly conduct. Oh, she's being fine.
Who does she say is?
She hasn't told me that. I've been dealing with him, so.
All right.
So disorderly conduct.
Yeah, if he'll identify himself, if you won't, you have to take him out.
Yep.
I don't think it's against the law. Even if that wasn't against the law.
All right, ma'am. All right. What is his name? Okay.
I don't want to disrespect him.
Okay, I understand that, man, but here's the thing, okay? Like I said, I waved at you guys. You waved at me, he flipped me off, okay?
What's going to happen if I give him his name? Nothing?
Okay, here's the situation. Let me just explain it to you, okay? So like I wave at you and you and your family, okay? Because I'm just out here trying to, community policing, okay? So when I see you guys, I want to wave at you and acknowledge you, okay? He flips me off, which, I mean, he can do whatever he wants. I come around here to make contact with him to say, "Hey, man, what's your problem?" And then all of a sudden, you heard how he started to get loud, right? Okay, I got other families, okay? You can't disturb other families and things like that, because once you start doing that, now it's a disorderly conduct, okay? So either he just identifies himself, I write him a disorderly conduct ticket, and it's done and over with, and he goes on his way, or he refuses to identify himself, I have to take him in at that point.
Officer Snyder just used the words community policing to describe what you watched. He U-turned on a public street, stopped a man for a gesture the courts had already protected, put him in handcuffs in front of his child, lied about it to 2 commanding officers, and then stood next to this man's wife, applying just enough pressure, just enough presence, just enough implied threat, until she handed over her husband's name. That is not community policing. That is coercion with a smile. Real community policing is built on voluntary cooperation and mutual trust. What Officer Snyder built in the last 6 minutes is the exact opposite. A family that will never wave back at a police cruiser again, and a wife who gave up her husband's identity, not because she wanted to, but because her husband was already in handcuffs, and she had no good options. He called that a win. It wasn't.
His name's Kyrian Smith.
Kyrian Smith? Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Because a police officer.
Chief, it's Kyrian Smith.
He's got a 15.
Yeah, potentially. I'll have Levi run him real quick. 420.
I'm being detained right now because I went through way back at an officer. He did not like it.
Will you run Kyrian Smith for me, please?
Here, clear, somebody.
I would like my lawyer called.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry it turned into this, okay? I simply waving at you. I mean, if he doesn't like the police, that's fine. He's entitled to that, okay? Well, like I said, I turn around and see what the problem is. I don't understand why. I go out of my way to be nice to you guys, and then he goes out of his way to flip me off and then cause a disturbance after that, okay? Just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Okay?
Did he flip him off?
I didn't see what he did.
He's claiming that he raised his hand to wave at you.
No, it was clearly that he flipped me off, and then like I said, I just pulled up next to him to say, "Hey man, is there some kind of issue?" I wave at you and your family, and then he wanted to get hostile with me, refused to identify himself, and at that point, now he's loud and causing a scene to other people.
Well, like I said, it's not really against the law to flip off the police like it should be, but
Right.
it would raise an alarm. I would approach someone and ask them to flip me off.
Yep.
At that point, if you became disorderly and you think you have a good case against disorderly, then
I'm just going to write him a ticket for disorderly conduct and get him on his way, since she identified him for me. So.
Officer Snyder closed this encounter by writing a disorderly conduct citation for a crime the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals had already ruled does not apply to the middle finger. Cruz versus Minyard had been decided 60 days earlier. He issued it anyway. What happened next tells you everything about the culture of the Cary Police Department. Smith went to the station to file a formal complaint against Officer Snyder, a right every citizen has, a process that exists precisely for moments like this one. He was ejected from the building, not redirected, not told to come back later. Ejected. The same department that produced this stop, that watched two commanding officers absorb a fabricated account without a single pushback, decided that the appropriate response to a citizen complaint was to throw that citizen out the door. That is not a one-officer problem. That is a department telling you exactly how it handles accountability. And the answer is that it doesn't. Officer Snyder gets an F. He stopped a man for an act the federal court governing his jurisdiction had explicitly ruled was constitutionally protected. 2 months before this stop, he threatened that man with arrest before any crime had occurred. He placed him in handcuffs without lawful basis. Then he lied on body camera to both his lieutenant and his chief, claiming Smith had refused to identify himself when Snyder had never made a lawful demand for identification in the first place. He pressured the man's wife into providing information while her husband sat detained in his vehicle. He described all of it as community policing, and then he issued a citation for a crime his own circuit court had already told him does not exist. Every step of this encounter, from the U-turn at the stop sign to the disorderly conduct ticket, was a violation of Smith's First and Fourth Amendment rights. This is not a close call. The village of Cary eventually made that clear themselves. They settled Smith's federal lawsuit for $40,000. That number is not an accident. That is a municipality that looked at this body camera footage, looked at the crew's ruling, and decided it did not want a jury to see both at the same time. The lieutenant and the chief get a D. Neither commanding officer at any point in this video told Officer Snyder he was wrong. Neither one said the words free speech. Neither one said the middle finger is protected. They listened to a count that should have raised immediate flags and let it pass. Then when Smith showed up at the station to file a complaint, which is exactly what the system tells citizens to do, someone in that building made the decision to throw him out. That decision did not make itself. Supervisors set the culture of a department, and this department's culture is visible on camera and confirmed at the front desk. Kyrian Smith gets an A. He knew his rights. He said so clearly, and he held his ground even while handcuffed in front of his family. He invoked his rights rather than surrendering them. He asked for a sergeant. He did not physically resist. He attempted to file a complaint, and when the department rejected even that, he took it to federal court, and he won. $40,000 from the village of Cary is the legal system confirming what the body camera already showed. Officer Snyder had no case. He never did. If there's an interaction or legal topic you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for police accountability analysis.